Hi, good morning. This is a short video to give you an overview of statement matching. So, statement matching is a cloud-based system, and the whole idea of it is to automate the reconciliation of your supplier statements so that you only have the exceptions to manage. The way it works is works with any ERP system and also any add-ons where invoices might go first, before they hit the ledger. Things like Basware, Process Director, Vim. There's lots of add-on solutions out there. So it works with any ERP system and any add-ons. And when we get data from you at the beginning, we would get a file that contains all of your open invoices and the last 6 months of paid invoices. So that's what we start off with as a base data set. And then we get a daily file from customers, which happens overnight, happens automatically, so you don't see it in finance. And the daily file contains new invoices from the previous day and any invoices where something's changed, like the status might have changed, for example. So we get a daily file that gets uploaded into statement matching. And the nice thing about getting data every day is any statements that are in the system already, they get re-reconciled automatically and it updates all of the statuses. The second part of it is how do we get statements in? So you would continue receiving the statements into your mailboxes, and they can be in any format. So whatever format of Excel or PDF the supplier sends you, you don't have to get them to change that. You just forward them to a mailbox that we give you. And then as part of the service, we actually extract the data from the Excel and the PDF statements, and then we upload it into statement matching within 24 hours. And when the statement gets loaded, it will reconcile the statement against the documents that we've got from your ERP system. It'll allocate an overall status, which is what you see in this first section, and then it allocates the status to each line on the statement. So I'll explain what they are. Fully matched, that means that all of the invoices that are on the statement are on your ERP system, everything matches perfectly. It also means that it also means that you've got no invoices on the vendor's account which are unpaid, which are dated before the last invoice date on the statement. So there's two things that customers do with these. First of all, they would send a copy of the report to the supplier to say, I've read your statement, I've got all of your documents, here's the due dates for payment. Any of them are paid, there'll be payment references on there. And also for these vendors, if you're doing PO invoices with these vendors, if you look in their GRNI account, if they've got any goods receipts that have not been invoiced and the posting date is before the last invoice date on the statement, then you could go and clear them down and return them to profit. And M&S is a big example of this. They looked at the aged GRNI balances for their top 300 food and clothing vendors, and they cleared over 5 million back to profit. And I've had lots of other customers that do that as well. The next one, fully matched with data mismatches. So that means that you've got all of the invoices, but there are some errors. So I've got some examples where the dates are different, invoice numbers are different, invoices and credits are the wrong way round, currencies are wrong, and amounts are wrong. So you would want to go and fix those errors on your ERP system. The next two, so unpaid items missing on statement, that's where you've got invoices that are on the ledger unpaid, but they're not on the vendor's statement. So it could be a misposting or it could be a duplicate. And then I've also got incomplete matching. So that's where you've got invoices or credits or both that are on the statement, they're not on your ERP system. There's different ways to look at your statements. A lot of my customers in the US are very keen on missing credits because of the escheatment rules over there. So you can actually look at the statements based on the type of error. So this is all of my statements where I've got missing credits. So it gives me a list, sorts them by value. And then from here, we can look at the detail. So this is the main screen from a user's perspective. So this is the rec. So you've got the supplier statement data on the left. You've got the invoice data on the right. And you can see most of them are matched, but I've actually got a credit that's missing halfway down and then an invoice that's missing at the bottom. So what you can do is you can email the supplier from statement matching. So we've got an email vendor function. The email from address would be one of yours. Email to, we would have the email address from the vendor master. You can put a subject and message. You can either send the full report showing what's matched and missing, or just send a copy of what's missing. But in practice, a lot of people prefer to download these to their own to their desktop and send it from their own email system. So you can also download them from the menu. You can do it in Excel or PDF, and I'll show you what the PDF looks like. So this would be your logo in the top. And you can see the documents that are missing. We've inserted some text by default to say, please send a copy to this email address. And then I know the status of the documents. So I'm telling the supplier that I've got some that are ready to pay and I've got some that are in process. And these status descriptions can be whatever you like. And then I've got due dates for payment, and then I've got one that's paid. So I've got a clearing date and a payment reference. So this is great for suppliers because, well, and for you, it's not just about requesting what's missing, but because you're providing the status of the documents to the supplier, you can reduce your queries because roughly 80% plus of your queries are, have you got my invoice? When are you going to pay me? Other things that we encourage, as part of the training, is if you put an action on someone, like I've just done with the vendor there, to request the missing documents, you should add notes in the system. So you can add notes on the statement lines, and let's say next month I get another statement from the supplier, and the documents are still missing. You'll be able to see the notes that you added previously, and there are notes in here because the icon's blue. So if I look at the notes, I should have looked at these first because it's been requested 3 times already, and we've basically put it into dispute. And the other thing that you can do is we've got something called user status, which is something that customers define. So I've got things like, mark vendors up as a problem. So if you've always got a vendor with missing invoices or data errors, mark it up, and then someone who looks at improvements can come and review it and then look at, well, what's the root cause? But I'll mark it up as I've requested a copy because I want to show you that on the search page, let's say you get to the end of the month and you want to chase up all the suppliers where you've requested copies. You can just select it by user status, hit search, and I can see I've got 2 that are fully matched. So that means the supplier must have sent the missing invoice, and I've got 2 that are incomplete. So it's really useful for managing the follow-up process. But go back to the search page. This is how a shared service center would typically work the statements. You can select statements by company, legal entity, and by supplier. So if you've got a shared service center and you're looking after EMEA, you might be looking after certain company codes and certain suppliers within those company codes. But if I just hit search, it's going to give me a list, and I'll show you one more example. So I've got one here that's fully matched with data mismatches. It's quite a big statement. There's over 500 invoices on here. So what you do on the big ones is you just put a filter on to say, show me the ones where there's a problem. And you can see now, these do happen. If you look on the first line on the statement, it's for 105.78. And then if you look on the ERP side, there's an extra 1 there. So it's $1,000 higher, but it's ready to pay. So we caught it in time. And then the next one is a credit that the supplier sent you, but you've managed to put it on your system as an invoice, which is easily done. So it's an invoice and a credit the wrong way round. But again, it's ready to pay, so I've caught it in time. And then I've got some where the dates are different and more where the amounts are wrong. So you would fix the problem, you would fix the issue on your ERP system. We would get the changes in the daily file, and then these errors would all go away. They would turn into matched lines if you fix them on your ERP system. I've got other examples that I could show, but this is only a short video, so hopefully that gives you a good enough overview. But we've got over 120 odd customers on this globally. Most of them enterprise customers, lots of them with multiple ERP systems and add-on systems. We offer a free proof of concept as well, where you can try this out with your data. But before you do that, if you want to see a more detailed demo, then please contact us and we'll set one up. But thanks for listening.